Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Hope you guys are doing well. So we see this tweet, a Russian plane that only officials can use, is on its way to Washington, according to high-ranking advisor to the president of Ukraine. And when we look at the type of plane, you see it listed right here. And we can see the flight. Interesting flight. It goes through Russian territory, avoids Finland, and shoots all the way down, going by Iceland. And we can see it now. It's right over here. It's off the coast of Nova Scotia, and it's scheduled to land at 1:32 p.m. in Washington. Now, we did find out, I just found this out, that this plane is supposed to be bringing home some Russian diplomats, declared persona non grata by the U.S. So, it wasn't like a last-minute ditch effort to come have a meeting and to, resolve things because, of course, we know all the world's a stage and we are only players, performers, portrayers.
Yes, and we can decide if we want to kind of enjoy the show or not.
Yeah, exactly. A wise man was telling us yesterday, it's all the way we view things. And if you know that there's a avalanche brewing and you could try to get yourself as far away from that avalanche as powerful, then what do? You just basically set up a couple of chairs, have some hot cocoa, and watch the show.
Right. I mean, you do what you can, but then it kind of ends there. Then you have to, that's kind of it.
We have to have peace in our heart. We have to cultivate the peace in our heart. So we have to prioritize what we're going to do. And just to share with you guys, we got up a little bit early. We got one video up on Evolutionary. This one's going up on EEARTS, even though I'm sure it's going to get demonized, so to speak. And then, it's going to be spiritual. We're going to be doing our mantras. We're going to be doing some Qigong, get a workout in, work around the house. And this will be time when phones will be shut off, router's going to be unplugged, and we're going to totally unplug. And then maybe, about 8 hours later, 10 hours later, we'll take a look, see what's happening in the news, and probably do another video or, another video talking about what's happening out there, or see what came to us through our mantras and meditation and do a video on that, or just, call it a night peacefully.
Yes.
You have to cultivate the peace within. Try to get yourself away from the barrage of intense, horrific everything, energy. I guess ultimately it's all energy anyway.
I've actually known people that had to stop watching mainstream media because they were having so many heart problems and they didn't know what to do. But they did know, well, whenever I watch this stuff, my heart rate goes way up, and it makes people that angry that it affects their health. So, I mean, if things are getting to that point, then yeah, you have to be able to detach yourself from the situation and find a way to live in peace with your surroundings and step back from everything. And this is how we do it. We kind of explained our day, and many days are like that. We might throw something new in here or there, but the spiritual practice is imperative.
Absolutely. And we see here, Putin says Western sanctions are akin to a declaration of war. So, what can you say about that? That kind of tells you the direction we're going in. And, even though I've seen this since 1984 when the guides started to show me what was going to come out, of course, timelines can change. They really can change. But then again, the power structure is such that the planet is still under the control of these beings that have forecasted the events that we have for a very long time, the events that are now playing out in front of us. Here you see TV Rain, the last independent media outlet operating in Russia, shut down, and there's the last few minutes of its broadcast. And I'll give you guys all the links. Of course, we really do have a lot of people with very, very divergent beliefs on what's happening. We talk to our friends and we get different stories. I mean, and friends that are close to us and are awake, quote unquote, understanding that there's strings attached, they still see it very differently. And I'm seeing it break down into certain camps too, with certain camps that viewed, let's just say the parentheses election results from a certain light. It seems like it's breaking down along those lines. And you just have to basically understand that people are going to form their own opinions, and all is well and good because each one of us is a unique individual and we're supposed to be unique. That's the bottom line. One size doesn't fit all, as we've said so many times. No matter how many times they try to lock us into one box. Okay, you're a Christian, you're Islamic, you're Jewish, you're Hindu, you're Sufi, whatever it is. You're Democrat, you're Republican. Okay, well, you're not a capitalist. Well, you got to be a communist then. All these different boxes, when ultimately none of those boxes might apply. Yeah, and people, unfortunately, have been conditioned to think we got to go into one box. No. You could be you. You could be absolutely you, totally unique.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that traps people is their actual family lineage. They really look up to mom and dad or those who raised them, and they look at their belief system, and it might not be for them that they actually have a full belief in the system, but they have loyalty. They have loyalty to their elders. They have loyalty to their friends. So they don't question the belief system as much, and they just fall into this pattern of loyalty. So these are things we need to stop and ask ourselves. Is this what I really believe, or am I just following something someone gave to me when I was young?
And we see this is from Defense of Ukraine tweeting out that, and it is true, we've seen multiple sources talking about it. They're looking to recruit. They want people to come on in, and people are going in from different nationalities as well as contractors. And this is a corporate world. Let's recognize that. Corporations are more real, tangible than nations. Corporations make nations, so to speak, now in this world. And we see Pompeo, who looks so different after losing so much weight, does he not? He says the U.S. should formally recognize Taiwan as a free country. Okay, well, if you want to create a Pacific theater, go right ahead. Mm-hmm. Of course, it probably is part of the plan.
It is. It's something they wrote on the script.
That would immediately do it. And we're all waiting to see what's going to happen from the fine dining ware country because, it's been quiet. When you look to that vote that people had on the condemnation of Russia, very telling, the countries that abstained. Very telling. China abstained. So they're trying to be a little bit out of the fray at the moment, so to speak. And India abstained as well. And then that gets me thinking about the Hopi prophecy, Venezuela. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the lines are all being drawn, as we've said, and we see Germany's thinking about reviving a draft, and I can't think of anything much worse than a draft. If we're all unique human beings with our own perspectives, throwing a gun in a pacifist's hands and saying go kill somebody, it's just so wrong.
I mean, that's only going to work so long when we're in an evolutionary point that we're at today.
This is not fifth density thinking. This is the system that we are in thinking. And as I've shared before, almost from what we've gotten from past wars, and when people comment on the amount of people that were in the front lines that shot above people's heads because they just couldn't do it. So many times soldiers might come face to face with each other up close and personal and go and run and walk away because they didn't want to kill the other person, which is beautiful. And, of course, everything is all about sales in this world, and everything is an illusion. And the quicker we can realize that, the faster we can change the world. As you see this quote, the most awesome leader in modern history. Yeah, well, his acting career prepared him for the world stage. And that reminds me of President Reagan. He was an actor. Remember Bedtime for Bonzo?
Right, and what's his name too? Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the Governor Schwarzenegger. And we had Jesse the Body, who I think was it Michigan or Wisconsin? Michigan, I think. Governor of Michigan, I believe. I could be wrong. You guys could correct me on that one. But yeah, it makes sense. Hollywood has rallied. Now, is he really this amazing leader? I'm leaving it up to you guys. You guys tell us. He was a comedian, an actor, a writer. He starred in romantic comedies. And as a high school teacher who becomes the president in a Ukrainian political satire series. Is that just a coincidence? I mean, when we see these photos of him from, the front lines and everything, I mean, I keep thinking of Wag the Dog. I keep thinking of all these different movies. I don't know. Does he have a little Dustin Hoffman, or is he more of an Al Pacino? I mean, if we're talking Al Pacino, now I'm not going to play this just in case, because, you never know what's going to happen. But here he's addressing their Congress and everything, and everybody's giving him crap, right? So what does he do? He pulls a Scarface.
Dun, 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 dun.
How many political leaders do you think felt like they wanted to do this?
I know, he just got to act it out.
He did, so this is the leader of Ukraine right now. What are we seeing, really? What really are we seeing here? Again, if all the world is a stage, makes you really, really wonder what's really going on. I was going to show you this one clip, but the video is not available anymore in our region. Oh, wow. Really? Because it was a clip of him shouting, "Putin has been toppled," from that series. Putin has been toppled. Yeah. Well, too bad they took that down. Why would they take that down?
I don't know. I mean, it's really curious, isn't it? Strange.
Yep, absolutely. And then again, when you realize again, you have Klaus Schwab, WEF, World Economic Forum. You own nothing. We will own everything, and you'll be happy. Doubt it. Anyway, well, we can be happy. We could choose to be happy with nothing. We could choose to be happy if we could get together with a band of like-minded people and, try to get outside of the system. Pockets are going to develop where people are going to be outside of the system. And those will be safe zones. Of course, you will be targeted by the powers that be, but the chaos that's going to just basically erupt as everything devolves. The system just breaks down, fractures, collapses around us. There's a reason, again, why they said 10 to 20 years, because they know that's all the time they possibly have left. And as we said, about 2030, things really start to just completely fall apart for them. So we're in the thick of it now. This is the thick of it. We're waist deep right now. And we got to stay strong and not get pulled into the drama, because it's all about drama.
And like any really bad relationship, when you start to step away and that entity realizes they're about to lose you, you're going to catch a little bit of chaos, so they're going to try to grab people and pull them back in. But just make your path and walk out as quick as you can.
If you've ever been in a bad relationship and you decide to end it, and at first maybe it's anger and attacks, and then it becomes, when they realize that it is going to be done, then maybe they go back to the sugar and sweetness, and if that doesn't work, it's back to the anger and the attacks. It can give you whiplash, but this is what we have going on in the bigger global scene. And so, again, Klaus Schwab has said Putin's one of his own proteges. So we do have people that take both sides on this. Some view him as the next, short mustached guy, back in the 1940s, and others view him as, riding on a white bear coming to save us all.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely riding on the white bear, and so and so is going to take out the deep state.
Yeah. So, they're trying to pull you in from both sides.
Yep.
Just get you emotionally involved. Once you're emotionally involved, then you no longer are seeing clearly. And then that makes you very, very manipulable.
It does. It makes you very susceptible to things, and they understand this about human nature, and that's why they pull in all the emotions and get your heartstrings going and get your hopes up, and they just string you along.
And these acting days were not too long ago, as you see, Servant of the People 2016. 2016 is an interesting year, too, because that was the year that we had people flocking down to Antarctica for some particular reason. Why do we have John Kerry down there? Why do we have, all these different high-level political people as well as religious? The leader of the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Pope, they all went to Antarctica because they were taking directions on how this play is going to play out. And one version would have been with, HRC coming into power, and we would have been doing this 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But now is when they're playing this card. So, rise above. Don't get pulled in is the message that we want to give. And as always, guys, make sure you're subscribed to both Evolutionary Arts and EEARTS. And thank you for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. Check out Medicinal Foods. Everybody needs an immune system boost. Everybody needs to be detoxing regularly in this world in which we're assaulted with all sorts of spiky stuff.
Yep. Yes. And awakening starts from within.
Absolutely. Keep sending out the positive vibes. Just be aware of what's going on. And again, we won't get caught up in their drama. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.